Hi. Welcome back. It's Flip Chart Friday. This week we are covering religious freedom. And you might be wondering why. It's mainly because religious freedom actually has played a very strange role in this week's confirmation hearings of Amy Coney Barrett. And it was brought up specifically by my opponent, Mark Green, in an op-ed he wrote for Fox. And in that op-ed, he basically claimed that she was being discriminated against and victimized by people who were saying that she was too extreme, and that he went through the same thing through his failed confirmation process to be Secretary of the Army, and that it was all in defense of religious freedom, at least from where he and Judge Barrett came from. So I wanted to explore that, mainly because I happen to do a lot of academic work in religious freedom, and I think there are some misconceptions we should explore. Let's talk about America, the prequel. All right, so we've got, in a very no particular order here, but we've got the Constitution, which has the First Amendment and Article 6. The First Amendment says we have freedom of religion and religious expression. Article 6 says that there won't be any religious test for public officials. Now, this is usually used by at least Green and Barrett to say, well, you shouldn't judge me because of anything I do with regards to my religion. And obviously in the First Amendment, I have a right to practice any way I feel. Well, yes, First Amendment, true, you do have the right to practice. Article 6, not so much the right interpretation. What it means is that I won't require that you're a person of faith or that you follow a specific faith in order to be a public official. But it doesn't mean that we as voters, and therefore through our elected officials, can't question how religion would play a role if you govern, if you're a justice, because that effect is across this nation and across all of us, many of us of different religions, some of us without any religion. The Declaration of Independence obviously recognizes a creator. It says inalienable rights, and that is an interesting sentence because a lot of people have used that to say, well, that must mean that God and therefore people of faith are recognized. Well, not so fast. I'm filming this on Wednesday again. Today, Judge Barrett said that the Declaration of Independence was an expression of our principles, not a governing legal document like the Constitution. So that's great. Some people had some ideas there, but it's not the way we're going to govern. And the Founding Fathers, that's the other one that's often invoked by the right. Well, Founding Fathers, important people, gave us the Constitution and the Declaration, did not agree on the role of religion in government. Many of them felt it should be religion in government and very much a theocratic state in that sense. And many of them felt that we should have no role for religion in government. And they came up with a happy medium in terms of the first and the sixth in the Constitution. All right, the courts, which is where we are now. Historically, we've had cases on reproductive rights, on LGBTQ rights, on commercial rights with respect to serving or not serving people, and we've had cases on whether things like the Muslim ban are constitutional, whether or not we can exclude a specific religion, whether it's in national security or any other policy. In the future, we are likely to have cases again on reproductive rights and LGBTQ rights, and depending on who's in power, we might see another case specifically discriminating against a religion. These are all the important reasons why religious freedom is a concept that we really need to understand fully. Why is this important? Well, it is important for all the reasons I just stated with respect to the cases. It's important because it defines policy with respect to the diverse country we live in. It's important because it really clarifies what religious freedom means in this day and age. We've evolved since 1789, and there are obviously updates we need to make from time to time on how we see certain concepts. But the most important thing is it really signals where we are as a country and how open we want to be, how tolerant we want to be, and how much we want to make sure that, yes, people who have faith can be in politics, but we as a public and we as voters need to have all that information to make sure that they are making policy and judging for all of us and not just a specific group. That's why this is important now. It'll continue to be important in the future, and that's why before going with what my opponent or Judge Barrett says is the definition of religious freedom, I thought you should have the full facts. Stay tuned next week. We'll be back.